Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So, better welcome to the session where I'm going to go ahead and discuss how you should be preparing for your IIT Kanpur paper and what you should be focusing on, right? So, before I go ahead and I start with, telling you the strategy for preparation, what we will go ahead and we will do is we will quickly look at the syllabus of IIT Kanpur paper. Try to understand that the entire syllabus can be divided in three parts, right? The first part that we have, that is maths plus stats. This maths plus stats will be asked from what you have already done in your undergrad. Okay? So if you look at the suggested books given by IIT Kanpur, the suggested book is actually AC Chiang. And you can either go ahead and follow AC Chiang, or you can go ahead and you can follow the favorite book that we have, which is Sid Sater and Hammond. Both these books are absolutely fine for reference from the point of view of maths plus stats. Okay. But if you go ahead and if you look into the sample paper of IIT Kanpur, and if you look into the last year's paper, past paper of IIT Kanpur, you will realize that a lot of questions have been asked from JEE past year papers, right? Especially from the maths aspect. And in this maths, especially from sequences and series, right? You will notice that a lot of questions are class 12th IIT JEE level. So what you have to do now, you have to make sure that you go back to RD Sharma, that you go back to these IIT papers and you try to solve these questions also. They will be very useful, especially when it comes to talking about number one, say topics like sequences and series. Like for example, questions on AP, question on GP, question on let's say other things like series, questions on permutation, combination. Then these questions have been continuously coming from your class 12th JEE paper. Same question has been repeated, right? So it is a good idea to go back and to revise these topics again, to revise probability, to revise sequence, series, AP, GP, permutation, combination from your class 12 RD Sharma or JEE paper. Very, very important beta, right? Other than that, you can go ahead and you can follow AC Chiang and you can follow Sid Sater and Hammond to go ahead and to do this part. Then the second part, I will just come to the syllabus shortly. But the second part which is asked in your syllabus, that is basically the English part, right? English, logic and reasoning. For logic, reasoning and English, what you can do now, you can do a joint preparation. All of you are also giving Madras School of Economics. All of you are also giving other exams. So it is a good idea to go back and to revise logic and reasoning. And for this, what you can do, just do some questions from MAT. All of you know that there are papers like CAT, MAT. इसमें से ना just MAT level, not CAT level. You just have to go ahead and do that level. That should be enough, right? So you can go ahead and you can just do the level of MAT. ठीक है? उसमें भी many students find doing English a bit difficult. I understand this thing, but logic and reasoning, usko strong karna zaruri hai. You need to make sure that you know that well. Okay. Then the third thing that will be coming in your exam, that will be economics part, right? Now in economics, especially for students who are from Delhi University, I can go ahead and I can tell you whatever you have done in your first year of DU, that much economics is enough. For students who are not from Delhi University, I can suggest that you can go through, of course, NCERT, that is for micro and macro NCERTs that you will go through. You will go through Indian Eco NCERT also. But you need to be at par with other students. So make sure कि इनके साथ you go ahead and just follow a book called ManQ. For students who have taken the course with me, just go ahead and do your basic level micro, macro, and intermediate level, only some part, not entire. But basic is enough. Micro, macro, that is the minimum you want to go ahead and do, because the syllabus says class 12th micro, macro, है ना? तो class 12th के लिए सबसे पहले तो हमें NCERT करनी है बेटा. We have to do NCERT of class 11th and 12th micro, macro, Indian Eco. But apart from that, you have to make sure that you also go ahead and you read this book ManQ. Principles of Economics करके एक book है ManQ का, in which it talks about everything in basic level, but it is good book. So you can go ahead and refer to that book also. That is what is covered in part of your basic economic videos also that I have covered with you. Okay. So now let's look thoroughly into the syllabus. So सबसे पहले हम syllabus में we will go ahead and we will look into the maths and stats level beta. It says college level, but as I have gone ahead and I have told you that you need to go ahead and do IIT JEE questions. I have completely analyzed the paper and realized that IIT questions are coming very frequently in your exam. जैसे for example बहुत difficult नहीं होगा. So for example, if I tell you something like this, that imagine that A, B, and C are in GP, right? And I tell you something about A, B, and C. I tell you that A is x plus 4. I tell you B is x plus 8. I tell you C is x plus 4 by 12. ऐसा कुछ मैं तीन दे देती हूँ आपको. So I will tell you find x such that they are in GP, है ना? Or find their common ratio. ऐसा कुछ भी, right? Maybe I will just put a 2 here, something like this. So what is there is that you just need to know the common properties of GP. You just need to know that if A, B, and C, they are in GP, then you need to know that B divided by A should be equal to C divided by B, right? They have a common ratio. And if you know this common property, you will be able to solve these kind of questions, right? Similarly, if I go ahead and I tell you that, okay, there is a sequence, right? And the sequence is 1 by n. Does this converge or diverge? Then you just need to know basic properties. Or suppose I tell you sin x by x. Does this converge or diverge? So basic knowledge is very much required in the IIT Kanpur paper. Remember, the paper is not very difficult, but the students who are giving paper have same level of aptitude. सब लोग ही intelligent हैं, सबको ही आता है. So therefore the cutoff will be high. Paper will not be very difficult, but as compared to that, because a lot of you will be doing very well, so you have to make sure that you do maximum questions well. और maximum questions अच्छे से आप सिर्फ तब कर पाओगे when you have a strong hold over all 3 sections. आप कहीं पे भी कोई भी गलती करने का, you cannot leave a scope of making a mistake in any of the 3, right? So this is very, very important that you go ahead and you give your 100% in all 3 sections. So as you can see, binomial theorem, definitely there will be one question on binomial theorem. I will show you one today from sample paper. AP, GP, permutation, combination. Beta, all these topics to be revised from R.D. Sharma. Linear algebra, matrix, determinants, elementary operation. So they will ask you a basic question on determinant. Just for example, if I give you a matrix, I give you some matrix. I say x plus 4, x plus 7, 2x, x minus 3. ऐसे करके मैंने आपको कुछ matrix दे दिया. And I ask you, tell me the value of x such that A is a singular matrix. Such that A is a singular matrix. So you need to just find out the value of x by putting the determinant of A as 0, right? So these properties you have to go back and you have to revise. I have done this multiple times with you, even when I was revising for CUET maths, right? I had given you all the properties, that when is a matrix singular matrix, what is the rank of the matrix. So you need to go ahead and you need to revise all those concepts also, right? So this is about your matrices. Then limit, continuity, differentiation, basic questions will come. Just for example, if I give you that I have a function which is x mod x, then I will tell you that at x is equal to 0, is the function continuous? Is the function differentiable? And you need to go ahead and tell me that, right? So such basic things will come in exam, and you need to go ahead and know very well the properties of continuity and differentiability that can be asked in exam. Okay, then integration, again, not very difficult integration, beta, but integration mein you have to again have a thorough holding over integration. Just for example, if I give you ki integrate, say x e to the power minus a square by 2x dx over minus infinity to infinity, something like this, right? So you need to know how to go ahead and how to integrate. You need to understand, can I go ahead and can I do some kind of substitution? How will I do? Or can I use by parts? What will I do to integrate this function? Such kind of integration you have to be aware about, right? Okay. Then you have statistics also included in this. In stats, remember, they will ask you about Bayes theorem for sure. This is one important thing that can come in exam, which is Bayes theorem. Conditional probability can be asked in exam. And then binomial, Poisson, and normal distribution. So for example, again, beta, if I go ahead and I ask you that a normal distribution has, and I give you some option, mean equal to mode equal to median, B, mean greater than mode greater than median, C and D. I give you some options. Then you should know that when I am talking about something which is normally distributed, which is symmetric, mean, median, mode are equal to each other. So you need to revise each and every property about normal, binomial, and Poisson distribution. And for revising these properties, what you can do, you can follow the book S.C. Gupta, right? Or DeVore. Both books are good books to be followed. Either of these can be done. You can also do it through the lectures if you have enrolled with me. But these are the three important things that you need to go ahead and do. Okay, beta. Then the second part is your grammar, English language, and logical reasoning. And in this, as I have told you, you need to do a common practice, beta. इसके लिए भी prepare कर लो और Madras School of Economics के लिए भी prepare कर लो. So you need to make sure, and if you have already prepared this once while preparing for GATE exam, nothing like that. ठीक है? So you need to make sure that you do some questions from math past years. Even for Madras School of Economics, I will take this session soon on MSc. So even for Madras School of Economics, you need to prepare from the past years of CAT and MAT, right? That is how you can prepare for logic, reasoning, and grammar. Okay. Now let's talk about part C. And in part C, we need to talk about introductory economics. So in introductory economics, there are three things basically. The first is micro, the second thing is macro, and the third thing is Indian eco. For Indian eco, it simply goes ahead and it says that in post-liberalization era, which means it is very important that first of all, you will revise liberalization, privatization, and globalization policies. And secondly, you don't have to focus since independence or before independence. British era पे focus करने का जरूरत नहीं है. You don't have to focus on British era. You just have to go ahead and focus on post-liberalization era, right? So you just have to go ahead and focus on what happened during 1991 and post-1991. That will be enough. It is my high intuition that you can get questions on index number. So you can get a question on Pache, you can get a question on other index numbers also. So Laspere, Pache, right? Fisher. So you need to go ahead and make sure that you revise the index numbers well. You need to make sure that you know concepts like GDP deflator, right? You know what is consumer price index. You know other indices also that can be asked in this year's exam. Similarly, it clearly tells you that in microeconomics, perfect competitive market is enough. So you don't have to focus on monopolistic or oligopoly in much detail. But in perfect competition, you should know everything. So for example, if I just go ahead and I tell you that which of the following is the shutdown condition of a firm, right? So you should be able to go ahead and tell me that what is a shutdown condition? Is it P greater than equal to AVC, P greater than equal to AC, P greater than equal to TC? Which of the following is shutdown condition of the firm? So you need to make sure that you are very thorough with whatever is written here. वो अच्छे से आना चाहिए. You should not be going ahead and skipping on any of these points. Okay. Now let me go ahead and take you through the question paper. So there will be 50 questions, beta, right? And each question will have 4 choices. This is completely MCQ paper. And when you will do the question correctly, then you will get 2 points for it, 2 marks for it. And if you do it incorrectly, then there is negative marking. Remember, so you will be marked -half for an incorrect answer. So you have to make sure that whenever you attempt this paper, you attempt it very carefully. It has negative marking included in it. And if you go ahead and you leave any question unanswered, then you will get 0 score for it, which is of course there, right? So what is a safe score? According to me, you need to make sure that you do at least 35 to 38 questions correctly, right? That is a good start to doing it. So 35 to 38 questions correctly, is a good way to go ahead and get an admission at IIT Kanpur, right? Okay. Now let me go ahead and show you some of the papers that have been asked in the some of the questions that have been asked in the past. So I'm taking you through a sample paper of IIT Kanpur. This is sample paper discussion, right? But before I start sample paper discussion, I just want to highlight that for all of you who have enrolled with us last year, I mean this entire session, I have uploaded 5 IIT Kanpur mock papers, right? And all of you have to make sure that you practice them. Please practice these. This will help you to see where you stand and how much more, how much more you need to go ahead and you need to put your efforts in. So go ahead and make sure that you do these 5 IIT Kanpur mock papers. Very, very important for your final exam. Okay, fine. Now let's begin with the sample paper discussion. So in this sample paper, this is a paper given by IIT Kanpur itself. And this paper is also available on the website, on our website. So you can just download that paper. And I'm going to take the first 10 questions today. So I will go ahead and discuss the maths questions today. I will show you how easy these questions are. So look into the first question, beta. It says that you are given a matrix. They have given matrix in this form only, right? And they're asking you to find out 14A inverse. You need to find out 14A inverse, right? So try to understand that in this question, first of all, I need to rewrite this in the form of a square matrix. So the way that they have given the matrix, it looked like this. 3, 1, -1, 2, right? So you have to make sure that you write it in the form of a square matrix first. So what I have considered now, I have considered this as my first column. So I've written this as 3, 1. And then I have considered this as my second column. And I've written this as -1 and 2, right? Now I need to go ahead and I need to find the inverse of this matrix. So we know that whenever we go ahead and we find the inverse, these two change their positions and these two change their sign, right? So I have changed the position of these two and sign of these two. And then the determinant, 1 by determinant of A comes here to find the inverse. So I have tried to go ahead and find the determinant. And we know that the determinant will be 3 into 2 minus -1 into 1. So 6 minus -1, that means 7. So my determinant is 7. So this is simply the inverse of A, right? And once I have written the inverse of A, what will I go ahead and do? I will just multiply this with 14 because this is what they're asking me to do. So now I have just multiplied this with 14. So I get 14 here, right? So 14 by 7 is simply 2. And when 2 goes inside, it becomes 4, 2, minus 2 and 6. And this can be just rewritten as, so remember, when I picked up this, I wrote the first column first and second column later. So I need to make sure that I write in similar way. So I will write the first column first and second column later. So this is going to be my answer. 4 minus 2, 2 and 6. Very simple. Just that you need to make sure that if you have considered this as your first column and this as your second column, when you again after solving rewrite this back, you need to make sure that you first write the first column and then write the second column. Otherwise, your answer will go wrong. है ना? वापस लिखते हुए, you should not do कि पहले मैं row लिख दूँ और फिर second row. No. Because I picked up the first column and wrote it first and second column and wrote it second. So I need to make sure that the final answer is also in the same format. So simple question, you just had to find the inverse. Look at the second question, beta. In the second question of this sample paper, you are basically already given this expansion. This is already given to you. Sometimes in exam, this expansion may not be given to you. So you need to remember this expansion, beta. You should know what is 1 plus x to the power n, right? And 1 plus x to the power n is nothing but c0 plus c1x plus c2x square and so on. You need to remember this expansion. Now, the question goes ahead and it says that find out c0 minus c1 plus c2 and so on. So very simple. If you look into the right hand side, you will realize that if I just put x as minus 1, I will get this. Isn't it? If I put x as minus 1, I will get this. So just try to see this thing. So what I have done, that in this equation, I have just plugged x as minus 1. So instead of x, I have written minus 1. 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 Everywhere instead of x, I have written minus 1. Right? Now, if I look into the left-hand side, this will give me 1 minus 1 to the power n. That means 0 to the power n. That means 0. So my left-hand side will become 0. And my right-hand side, it will become c0 minus c1 plus c2 minus c3 and so on. And this is what the question was asking to find out. Right? This is what the question was asking me to find out. So its value will simply be 0. Its value will simply be 0. That's the answer to this question. So pretty easy questions, but class 12th IIT JEE questions needs to be revised. RD Sharma needs to be revised. Agar RD Sharma moti lag rahi hai, to just the examples of RD Sharma needs to be revised. But you need to go back to your basics and revise those well. Only then it is worth going to IIT Kanpur and giving the exam. Okay. Now look into the third question, beta. So very good question. Read it out. A very similar question has been asked in IIT JEE paper. In that, instead of 60, the question had 4500. And instead of 7, here it was 150. They have just manipulated the question a bit and given you exactly same question of IIT JEE. That is why I am focusing again and again for you to revise the class 12th level. Okay, okay. Now just see here. So it says there is a person is to count 60 items. Xn denotes the number of items he counts in the nth minute. In the nth minute. Okay. And x1 is equal to x2 is equal to x6 is equal to 7. x6, x7, x8 are in AP with common difference of minus 1. Find the time he takes to count all items. Very simple. Dekho dhyan se. So, try to understand. When I am saying that x1 is equal to 7, beta, this means that in the first minute, ये देखो 1 है यहाँ पे, in the first minute, I am counting 7 items. In the first minute, I am counting 7 items. When I say x2 is equal to 7, it means in the second minute, not 2 minutes. Try to understand English well. It is saying in the second minute, not in 2 minutes. 2 minutes नहीं लग रहे हैं. Second minute के अंदर, in the second minute, I am again counting 7 items. So I start my task. In the first minute, I have counted 7 items. Then again in the next second minute, I have counted 7 items. In the third minute, I have counted 7 items. In the fourth minute, I have counted 7 items, and so on and so forth. This is what it is saying. This is happening till x6. So that means that in 6 minutes, I have counted 7 into 6. That means 42 items. In 6 minutes, I have counted 42 items. Now try to see from the 7th minute. Now it is following an AP with difference of -1. That means that in the 7th minute, I will count 1 less item. So I will only count 6 items. In the 8th minute, I will only count 5 items. In the 9th minute, I will only count 4 items. Essay. So this is what I have done here. That in the 7th minute, I have counted 6 items. In the 8th minute, I have counted 5 items. In the 9th minute, I have counted 4 items. In the 10th minute, I have counted 3 items. Now, the moment I have counted these items, the total comes up to 60 items. देखो, 18 items यहाँ से count हुए और पहले 42 items, which means I have counted 60 items. In how many minutes? In 10 minutes. In 10 minutes. So I can go ahead and I can say that, therefore, I will take 10 minutes to go ahead and count all 60 items. So the English is a bit tricky here. It is not, ये जो nth minute है ना, it means in the first minute 7 items, second minute 7 items, third minute 7 items, ऐसे. और यहाँ से there it is following AP with common difference of -1. तो मतलब I am counting 1 less item. So from 7th minute 6 items, from 8th minute 5 items, and so on and so forth. Right? So this is how you can solve this question. Okay, beta, come to the next question. Very, again, easy question. Similar question has been asked in class 12th papers. Right? Again, revise the papers. So it says from 6 different novels and 4 different dictionaries, 4 novel and 1 dictionary are to be selected. So पहले selection है बेटा. So let's select. बाकी का बाद में पढ़ेंगे. It says they are selected. So out of 6 novels, I am selecting 4. Out of 3 dictionaries, I am selecting 1. Selection done. अब आगे देखो. Arranged in a row on the shelf so that dictionary is always in the middle. Now I need to do arrangement. So in order to do arrangement, beta, totally I will have 5 places. 4 novel and 1 dictionary, I have 5 places. But dictionary is always in the middle. That means I have fixed the place of dictionary. So I need to arrange novels now. How many novels I have? 4. So I can arrange the 4 novels in these 4 places in 4 factorial ways. Arrangement bhi ho gayi ab. So I have arranged novels in 4 factorial ways. So what will this answer come out to be, beta? So this answer will come out to be 6 factorial by 4 factorial, 2 factorial, 3 factorial by 1 factorial, 2 factorial into 4 factorial. Cancel, cancel. This is going to be 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 3 by 2 into 2. That means I will get this as 30 into 9. Oh, I have not 30 into 9 nahi hoga. This will have a 2 here, right? So this will be 9 into 6 into 10. These are the number of ways in which you can go ahead and, oh, there will be no 2 here also, into 2. So this will be coming out to be 1080. Right? This will be coming out to be 1080. So this is the number of ways in which I can go ahead and arrange them. Right? So that's the answer to this question. So which means that more than 1000 ways. So answer is D. Okay. Now let's go on to the next question. So question number 5, beta. It says, again, as I told you, there are questions on APs and GPs. That means the questions are from 12th level. What are the possible values of X such that these 3 numbers, they fall in GP? So you just have to use the property that if you have A, B, C and are in GP, then B by A should be equal to C by B. They have a common ratio. So I have just used the property that X divided by minus 2 by 7 should be equal to minus 7 by 2 divided by X. And just solve for the value of X. Very simple. So when you will be solving for X, you will get X square is equal to 1. This can go here, this can go here. And X will be plus minus 1. So there are 2 values of X plus minus 1. Right? Okay, beta. Come to the next question. So question number 6. Very interesting question. It says, in how many ways can 4 people be seated in square table, 1 on each side? Now, try to understand this thing. Whenever we talk about a square or a circle, any enclosed figure, जैसे हमने यहाँ पे बात की square की या circle की, हाँ? So whenever we talk about any enclosed figure, for any enclosed figure, we need a point of reference. जैसे circle में this can be my point of reference. Square में this can be my point of reference. So we will eliminate one individual because that individual will be acting as a point of reference for me. Okay. So always remember that in enclosed figure, you can arrange them in n minus 1 factorial ways. Right? So if I have 4 people, I can arrange them in 4 minus 1 factorial ways. That means 3 factorial ways. That means 6 ways. I always need a point of reference to start in enclosed figures. So this becomes my point of reference. I will fix this and then I will go ahead and say, okay, one individual is gone. Any of the 3 individual can come here. Any of the 2 individual can come here and any of the 1 individual can come here. So it will be 3 into 2 into 1. That means 6 ways. And that would be the answer to this question. Okay, beta. Let's come to the next question. So now, as I told you, there can be a question on matrix being singular. So this was question number 8. You have a matrix given to you and it simply asked what is the value of K so that the matrix is singular. So we just have to use the property that a matrix will be singular when determinant of A will be 0. So you just find the determinant. So this minus this. So K into 2K minus 32 equal to 0. 2K square minus 32 equal to 0. K square equal to 16. K equal to plus minus 4. And that would be the answer to this question. Okay. So question number 9, beta, it simply asks you find the value of the determinant. I think this is pretty simple. I haven't done anything. I haven't even tried to simplify this. I've just found out the determinant as it is. So what I have done now, take this into determinant of this minus this into determinant of this plus this into determinant of this. And when I will just go ahead and open this up, so cross multiply, and cross multiply. Right? So when I tried to find the determinant of this matrix, I will just show you. The determinant is coming out as 9y square x plus y. Please you can just take a snip of this, right? To recheck your answer. Just take a snip of this. So the determinant is coming out as 9y square into x plus y, and that will be the determinant. So very simple question. It was just asking you to go ahead and find the determinant of the matrix. Okay, at last, let me take the last question, beta. Question number 10. Very simple again. It just asked you to tell mod x, whether it is continuous or not, whether it is differentiable or not. So we know that when we talk about mod x, because there is a kink beta that is coming. So at kink, the function is non-differentiable, right? But whether you approach from left-hand side or right-hand side, you are going towards 0. Left-hand limit and right-hand limit will give you 0. So the function will be continuous, but at kink, it will not be differentiable. So we know it is continuous, but not differentiable. So over and above, I would just like to go ahead and say, do your basics thoroughly. अच्छे से basics को revise करो. Revise very, very thoroughly class 11th and 12th maths. ठीक है? Do sequence and series well. Do continuity well. Go back to R.D. Sharma. Revise R.D. Sharma thoroughly. At least the solved examples. Then go to class 11th and 12th NCRT. Do those NCRTs well. And for your maths, English, go to CAT and MAT past years and look into logic and reasoning and English. बहुत difficult नहीं आएगी English, but you need to be aware about how to read passages, how to find out the answer from the passage. Try to do that part thoroughly, right? So that is it from my side, beta. I wish you all the luck for your IIT Kanpur paper, and I hope to see all of you sitting at IIT Kanpur this year. Thank you.